There we go.
Hello, everyone. I'm Ren'ee Rentmeester. I'm the creator and executive producer of the Cooking Without Looking TV show and podcast. And this is Cooking Without Looking Happy Hour. And the beautiful woman in the crown is Goddess Johnson. Goddess, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. I am so excited to finally be on your show. I'm a big fan, big fan. Hey, everybody.
Well, I'm so happy you are. Thank you so much for that wonderful compliment. Um,
Yes.
as most people know, with our show, everyone on our show, whether it's a podcast, a show, or the happy hour, are blind or visually impaired. And Goddess, tell us a little bit about your blindness.
Well, my blindness was an unexpected situation. I was not born blind. I had the privilege, I was fully sighted for 28 years. And my vision loss was due to a tragic car accident that resulted in the loss of my vision. I was in a very bad car accident, 5-car pileup. As
Oh,
a impact of being ejected from the car, I spent an extensive amount of time in a coma and woke up and I had no sight. So mine's was instant. And like I said, it was unexpected and devastating in the beginning, but I have learned to embrace, and find my purpose and continue to live a life without sight successfully.
right. So you have no sight, right?
Well, now I have no sight at all in my left eye, and I do have tunnel vision in my right eye now as a result of a successful cornea transplant. And
Oh,
I
wonderful.
lens called a sclera lens that helps enhance that vision that they were restored due to the cornea transplant.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. That's really tremendous.
So for 13 long years, I did not have sight, but I underwent various eye operations from minor procedures like injections, tissue replacement, tubes in my eyes, you name it, I had it done. And two unsuccessful cornea transplants until my third, it was unsuccessful because one did take, but then I had a rupture and then I had another one.
Oh
And
my God.
my third one was a success. So, I often tell people I feel like I'm blessed in a way because I know what it's like to have no sight, to be sighted and visually impaired. So for me, I just feel like it's a blessing because I can relate, in all aspects.
So you know both worlds, right?
Yeah.
Well, explain for our audience your crown.
Of course. So I am honored. When I came into the blind and visually impaired community, I did not know what was possible. I often let that be known. I went through about 2.5 years of rehabilitation therapy to learn how to walk again, talk again, because I was in a coma for a long period of time. But when it came to my vision, I let people know I really didn't know what was possible. So many different situations in my life transpired. But when I did come into this community, I met a very, very special person who has become my sister by choice, which is Miss Crystal Allen, founder of Eyes Like Mine Incorporated. And she was the first person to just show me a different type of independence and help me regain my confidence, which led to me going into pageantry. The first pageant that I entered was the Miss Blind Diva Empowerment Pageant in 2022, and I won. And that was my first pageant that I won. And from then on, I went on to win 2023 Miss Black America Elegant Diva pageant title holder. I was the first legally blind woman to win that title. And currently, 2024 Crown of America pageant, I'm the first legally blind woman to hold that title as well. So I'm honored to represent and continue to show what's possible beyond vision loss. I pride myself in the motto of it doesn't take physical sight to have a great vision. And the proudest honor is to now be one of the first ever legally blind pageant directors of the Miss Blind Diva Pageant, which is coming up.
Yay!
I'm so excited, Renee. I really am. It's truly amazing just to help, number one, spread the vision of someone else in this community that has been a pioneer. Eyes Like Mine is celebrating 10 years, to be a grassroots organization. And so many organizations throughout, that inspire, and whether it's a podcast, whether it's a group, you need help along this journey. So I'm honored to represent for an amazing visionary like Miss Allen, and now to be responsible to help 9 phenomenal women on their journey to become the next Miss Blind Diva Empowerment Pageant title holder, which is an honor because it represents empowerment and it represents what's possible. And it's the only pageant for us. So it's amazing. And I'm just really excited for this year.
Well, how did you get the courage to actually enter that?
Honestly, Renee, it really was that, because honestly, I was just a supporter. I would work behind the scenes volunteering when things of that nature. Bang. Hello.
Hello,
Oh,
hello.
hear me okay?
Yeah, yeah. It just broke for a while, but
Uh,
for our listeners, Goddest is in South Carolina, and we just had a hurricane Helene last week. So
So I apologize if it goes out a little bit, guys, but I am here. But I was just saying, I'm honored to be a part of, this event and to represent for Eyes Like Mine. And I'm excited about, 10 years they're celebrating this year. So I'm really excited. And the courage for me just came from stepping out and trying something different, and just I believed in the vision. I was not a pageant person at all, but I believed in her vision. I believed in what Eyes Like Mine stood for, what this meant. And I was like, hey, let me try and see what happens.
well, so you did that, and did you ever watch pageants when you were a little girl?
Let me tell you, Renee, the only thing close to a pageant I ever knew about was Miss Congeniality. That was movies. I am not going to lie. And that's all I knew. Like, I was not, Crystal's that type of friend that you just can't say no to. I wouldn't have never ever been in pageants or a fashion show. She literally contacted me at like 11 o'clock at night one day and was like, do this fashion show, and it's like the first fashion show with blind and visually impaired women. I was like, okay. And it was put on by Anna Smith. And I'm like, girl, I'm not walking in no heels. I can't stay in heels. And she was like, come on. So I was like, okay. And I promise you, Renee, that's how I got into it. I was just like, okay, like she never let me think it was something I couldn't do. And it was like, all right, let me just try it. And now it's something I truly, truly love. I really do.
Oh, did you walk in the heels?
I did. And girl, I had to soak my feet for 2 days because my feet were hurting. So I learned the power of the correct heels to wear and when.
How high were they?
These heels were like 6 inches, Renee. I don't know what I was thinking.
Oh my God.
The bling queen. So I love anything that shines. So they were so cute, but they were not comfortable. Mm-mm. I learned comfortable over cuteness every day.
Oh, that's right. That's right. What color were they?
They were actually silver heels, and they had the like as if you're cross, like crisscross kind of pattern, and
Oh,
there stones all over the straps. So they were all covered with like blingy, like rhinestones and silver. They were really pretty, not comfortable, but pretty.
so how did you get around it? Did you sit a lot that night?
I kind of did the whole, so you learn the secret, right? So you walk on your tippy toes. So that takes the pressure off of your heel. It hurt. And I that tip to Dr. Ellen St. James, who was Miss Ghana World and our pageant coach during the Miss Blind Diva pageant, who I love so much because she took off her flats to give to me so that I can wear because my feet killing me and I could not take it.
Oh man. Well, I have been learned, when we were shooting in the studio, I've been known to run around in my bare feet, just like kick the shoes off and run around because I I consider doing things and getting them done rather than like having these deadly feet where you just can't get anything done.
Mhm. I completely understand. And it's just comfortable, right? And it's easier to do things when you're comfortable.
It is, and you can do it faster too. I would just zip around the studio.
So true. So true. You don't have to worry about it. So I understand. Trust me.
So, what are your thoughts on, the blind Barbie? Did you get your blind Barbie yet?
Yes, I did. Oh, I am such a little girl at heart. And who doesn't like Barbie? And so when I was like, I want one. So my sister in law, and she's in Maryland, she saw I put a whole post, Renee. I was like, who wants to give me this for my birthday?
And they're amazingly cheap.
Yes, right.
10 bucks.
I could not believe it. I thought it were going to be a lot more, but I was happy. But I do have my blind Barbie sitting up on her stand as she should.
That's right. Oh my gosh, that's so cute. Well, you speak about a lot of things. I saw that you've got like a couple of speaking engagements, I think tonight.
Yes,
Um,
ma'am.
one of them I think is for domestic violence.
Correct. Correct.
How did you come upon uh that cause?
Yes, thank you for asking. Well, Renee, I'm a proud domestic violence survivor, and that is my one of the many topics that I express on my platforms, whether it be for pageantry or speaking on, because my blindness was something that I did not embrace in the beginning, and it was not something that I felt that I had any self-worth, and I allowed myself to become a person who um did not know my self-worth anymore, did not feel like I was worth anything. And this led me to accept being treated in not a good way, in which I was involved in a very physically, emotionally, and verbally abusive relationship for about 7 years after I lost my sight. And it wasn't until I kind of found out what was possible. I learned about, resources, different things that gave me training that helped me meet other people in this community who helped me build my confidence and regain myself, and to let me know that, yes, my sight was just a characteristic of me that I don't have anymore, but I still had worth. And so I openly talk about my battle with domestic violence, how I got out, which led to me becoming a big advocate and starting an organization which helps give resources, give empowerment workshops, trauma counseling, and just do different events that embody self-confidence, whether it be any disability, because I often tell people my blindness is a disability that you can see, but we all struggle with something, but no one deserves to be anyone's punching bag, and no one deserves to be, verbally abused. And that's not something that you have to accept. So as a proud survivor now, 4 years surviving, being able to be at a pivotal place in my life where I'm happy. I do have someone now that loves me for me, regardless of whether I can see or not. I know my self-worth, and I help empower men, women, and children globally on this topic. So I will be participating in a virtual seminar, which is held by a very phenomenal woman, Miss Kimberly DuPont. And it is going to be focusing on domestic violence, sharing stories, providing resources, and I have shared it on my page, and I will also share it with your platform as well, because it's okay not to be okay with this, but through pain comes strength. So I'm very excited to be a part of this.
Was the partner with you before you lost your sight?
He actually was. We were actually together, Ren'ee, since I was 18 years old. And
Wow.
accident happened when I was 28 years old and the mother of our 6-year-old son. So he was somebody that was with me, and I've had several other obstacles in life, that he has known about and things like that. And so when this happened, this is somebody that you feel, is going to be with you, be by your side, because they've been with you through so much. And then for them to start look at you like you're not worth anything because you're no longer, I was in nursing, I was a nurse, I could no longer do that. I was trying to, it's an adjustment to blindness. I was trying to adjust with going from being so independent. I've been on my own for so long. I've had not a great life, so I've had to be an adult real early at an early age, which caused me to be independent. So to go from being independent to codependent, and then having no recollection on resources on how to live this life, it was devastating. So for him, it wasn't helpful for someone to be telling you like, you're worth nothing, or it's like having another kid. These are
Oh,
things said, and making fun because I would fall, or so different things like that. And just accepting the infidelity and things of that nature, because I really felt like I had to put up with this. Like, who will want me? I can't see, what can I do? So that was really a period that I had to go through in my life that lasted for 7 long years.
wow. Was he abusive to you before you lost your sight?
No.
Wow. So he just like flipped.
Yep, like over time, he began to drink a little more. And with that, and then I don't know if it was because I was a person that was very much independent and I took care of a lot of things. So it's like, I don't know if it was the extra responsibility. And then for me, I was trying to adjust to this life, so I wasn't always happy, or, I went through a depression, and that wasn't understood. So it was just like, it really make you feel bad, because this is a person that for me was a friend and had been with me through so many other situations in my life. So when this happened, I was like, wow, so I really kind of caught me off guard, and it was really made it hard for me to adjust to. And I often think, if I had not become pregnant with my daughter, I often think of where would I be, because that's what actually gave me the courage to, okay, I can't, this is not what I want. I can't do this. I wanted her to see someone who was strong, because for me, I grew up with a mother saying who was weak, and it caused my mother I openly talk about my life and the fact that my mom, was incarcerated, for taking the life of her abuser, so for me, I just remember seeing her being weak, being yelled at and being hit on. And I just knew that I did not want that for my daughter.
Right. Oh my God. So how did you finally get out?
I finally got out because, thankful to a very, 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 I want to say, friend, and I call her family. She was able to actually take me and my children to the bus station one evening, because I had found out about Baskin Palmer Eye Institute, which was in Miami, Florida.
Yep.
Just decided to go and take a chance. They told me I would never ever see again. But I wanted to take a chance, and I wanted to go somewhere that was different and that I could just start over with my children. And that's actually what I did. And that was the turning point in my life. That's where I learned about schools for the blind, due to a transportation driver for Uber. When I had got to my complex, and there was a person there who was driving for Access Links. I did not know what Access Links was. It was a paratransit service, and they were like, "Oh, you must be coming from the school for people like you. And I was like, people like me. And that's when he told me about, you know,
The lighthouse?
yeah. And I never knew. I never knew there were schools for the blind. I never knew any of this. And it's like my world changed on that day. That very next day, I was on the phone. I called over and I spoke to the representative at Lighthouse. I was there that next day and my world changed from there. You know, I got into classes, I dove into everything: Braille, access technology, independent living skills. It was like a whole nother world opened up for me, Miss Renee. I was like, okay, I can do this now. They got computers that talk. Okay, you know, like, wow, like I did not know none of this existed at all. And it was just like the sky's the limit from there. You know, I went through my training. That was the very first time I actually openly told my story, which led to me, like, I openly talk about meeting Lucille O'Neill, who's the mother of Shaquille O'Neal, and he was actually the ambassador for our Lighthouse of Central Florida. And just to have someone of that stature to look at me as someone of inspiration and tell me to continue to tell my story. And I remember telling my instructor, I can do this job. And Miss Jen, she was like, yes, you can. And that's just what happened. I applied for a scholarship through the distance learning program with the University of Massachusetts. And I ended up going to school for visual rehabilitation therapy, and I got my master's, and I ended up doing just that. I started teaching at the same school that I graduated from, and I did it with pride, and I loved every minute of the 3 years that I did that.
Oh, that's wonderful. I think one of the things that I've learned over the years, somebody said to me, well, it was the greatest line. It just stuck in my head. Like, well, you know, being blind isn't so bad, but you have to learn the skills to be blind.
Yes, yes. The skills are very, very important because it makes your life functionable. You know, yes, you can live this life, but with the right skills and tools, number one, it doesn't have to be as hard, you know, and it's a lot more functionable. And thank God for technology, you know, so it's just with the right tools, the sky's the limit. I definitely believe in that wholeheartedly.
Right. Well, um, now, you know, this is cooking without looking.
Yes, I
So,
love tech.
do you love to cook?
I d- Renee, cooking for me is therapy.
It,
That was something that I've always loved to cook. Way before my vision loss, it was just something that cooking and just eating and together brings people together, you know. So that's always been something I love to do with my children and then beyond my sight loss. And I was thankful that I learned how to cook from scratch. So the vision wasn't really an issue, you know. So you just had to learn to use a little bit other tools, but it's something I love to do. I cook, I barbecue, I grill. We do it all. So I
oh,
love, and I'm a Southern girl, so we love to cook.
what is your favorite thing to cook or to grill?
So my favorite thing on a barbecue grill, representing Texas wholeheartedly, is brisket. So I have
Ooh.
to smoke a good brisket where you season it and you let it slow smoke overnight for 24 hours. Woo, and it's just falling off the bone. You gotta love it.
Oh
Just
my God, that sounds so good. Do you have to sit by it in the night, have someone babysit it?
go on your regular, you know, you turn it, you put it on and set it, and you just let it cook. And you don't have to do anything. We season it up really, really good. We usually let the seasons marinate for about 2 to 3 hours and then put it on a grill, usually at around midnight, and we let it cook literally overnight, like the whole night, the whole day. And we don't usually take it off until like that next evening at around 9 p.m. And it's like so tender and so juicy. And we make our own homemade barbecue sauce. Yes, yes.
Ooh.
And you know what? I gotta tell you my little secret, y'all. So you guys, I learned this actually. If you take a little bit of ketchup and brown sugar, and you mix it together, a little bit of white sugar, mix it together, put you a little cinnamon, and mix it all. It makes the best barbecue sauce. So
Ooh,
yeah,
the cinnamon is I've never heard of that with the barbecue sauce. That's
with barbecue, and we And it was like one of those trial and error. And honestly, I learned the basis of it with just mixing, So I was like, when you make meatloaf, usually you'll try it. So I was like, let me add a little bit of this, just trying stuff out. And some of your best creations come from just trying stuff out.
I know. Sometimes people like they have to have the recipe, and the recipe is like their little Bible, and they have to go exactly to it.
By that, yes. And I tell people all the time, I try to do it, but it's like it's sometimes it's one of them things where you can give like a basic. If I had to give a basic, I say, okay, you can start with like 2 cups of 2-3 cups ketchup, half a cup of brown sugar. But it's like you kind of got to taste along the way,
Right,
to
right.
want it to come out. So yeah. And we experiment a lot because you never know with putting things together. But that's my favorite thing to put on a grill, Renee. And my favorite dish of all time is stuffed salmon. I love stuffed salmon.
Oh, that sounds so good. What do you use as a stuffing?
So let me be honest. So one of my favorite, I actually lost. She was a very close, like a mother to me figure, and she passed away. Her name was Miss Patty, and she used to take me to Longhorn Steakhouse, and they had this dish. It was Parmesan crusted stuffed salmon. So talking to the waitress and stuff, I'm like, wow. I'm like, what do they have in it? So I'm a person that I can talk to anybody, and the sight loss, it just helped me just be not care. The cook came and we're just talking. So he was like, oh, telling me the basics. So then I'm the type of person, I'm like, okay, I'll recreate myself. So I'm gonna tell you, Renee. So you get your salmon, your however, for me, it's usually, well, now I have a party of 2. So, you get a good enough piece of salmon for you and your loved ones, rinse it off real good. Now, the mixture, guys, here's the mixture. You need, so for me, I'm cooking for a party of 2 to 3. So I will use 1 block of cream cheese. You do have to use the Philadelphia, guys. You can use the off brand. It's okay.
Well, you know what? The off brands are often the brands we know, just with a different label on.
Right. And they're just as good. So I often tell people, listen, it's just as good. So you get 1 block of cream cheese, right? You need that. You're gonna need 1 container. They sell it where the Parmesan cheese is. You want to get the fresh Parmesan cheese, okay? Shredded Parmesan cheese. It comes in a plastic container. You just need 1 of those. If you go to Publix, I love Publix. Everyone will know. In Publix, they have the seasoned blend, which is in the frozen food section, guys. It's already cut up green peppers and red peppers and onions.
Right.
Or you gotta love Publix. So you're gonna 1 bag of those, okay? 1 bag of the seasoned blend, 1 block of cream cheese, 1 container of the shredded Parmesan, and then 1 bag of fresh spinach, okay? Then you're gonna need 3 eggs, and you're gonna need 2 cups of mozzarella cheese.
Wow.
Right, okay? And the last part, guys, if you are not allergic to shrimp, you wanna get 1 bag of large shrimp, okay? You can do the ones that are peeled or not peeled. You just have to peel them yourself, guys. Might have to do some work. Okay, so it's real simple. So you take the cream cheese, you want to leave the cream cheese out so it can be room temperature. So sit your cream cheese out for about an hour to make sure it's soft so it can be nice and soft, right? You want to sit your cream cheese, your 3 eggs, have your Parmesan cheese, have that all out room temperature, okay? So in a bowl, you want to take the cream cheese, the Parmesan cheese, and the egg, and the 2 cups of mozzarella cheese. You want to blend it together really, really good. Okay. Once you blend that together really good, whether you're mixing it with getting in there with your gloves in your hands or using your mixer, however you want to mix it up so good. Okay. Then you want to get your skillet, put your skillet on. I like to use avocado oil because I'm on this healthy thing, guys, because I am diabetic. But you can use whatever oil of your choice. Just lightly put a little bit in the skillet. And then you want to saute the spinach and the seasoned blend together. You want to saute that on down. And then you want to take your shrimp, make sure you peel your shrimp, rinse your shrimp off, season your shrimp to your liking. I like to use a little garlic powder, a little bit of onion powder, and a little bit of adobo. And
Oh, yeah. Well, what about Old Bay? Do you ever use any of that?
are you, Renee, you my girl. You got to put a little bit of that Old Bay. The garlic and herb Old Bay is what I like to use for this.
Okay.
It's Old Bay seasoning, but it's the garlic and herb Old Bay. Okay. Season your shrimp up with that, get it all tossed up. You want to throw that in there with your mixture, toss everything together, the spinach and your seasoned blend, your shrimp, saute it down real good. Then you want to strain all the extra juices and everything out of it and let it cool down. Okay. Let that cool, guys. You don't want it to be hot because you don't want to melt your cream cheese mixture. Okay. So I say you want to set it in a bowl and let it cool for about 15 to 20 minutes to make sure it's nice and cool. And then you want to, in a separate bowl, you've already mixed together your 3 eggs, your 2 cups of mozzarella cheese, your 1 container of shredded Parmesan cheese, which is equivalent to 1 cup of Parmesan cheese. Okay. And then your 1 block of cream cheese that has been set out in room temperature and softened. So you already have that mixed in a bowl. So you want to combine that mixture with your spinach and seasoned blend and shrimp mixture, mix it all together. And then you go over to your pan with your salmon on it that you've already cleaned and washed and got all nice on the pan. You want to melt a half of stick of butter. You melt that down and then you pour that over the salmon and you want to lightly season the salmon with your seasoning. So put some of that Old Bay on there, your garlic powder, your Saison, your adobo, put that on there and then rub it, smooth it, massage it on in there. And
So
you
massage parlor for salmon.
massage it, make sure it's all good. And then all I do is the easy way for me is I take my mixture and I just put it right on top, like right on top. But I've cut my salmon in half. So I've put that mixture on top and then I put the piece of salmon on top and put the next layer of mixture on top. And that's it. You pat it down and then you put it in your oven and you bake it for 30 minutes and you take it out, guys, and it is delicious.
Oh my God, that just sounds amazing. Did the waitress actually give you the recipe for that?
The cook actually gave me the recipe. He really did. He told me the basic ingredients and then I took it and I went with it. And that was a good $50-$60 meal. And trust me, by the time you buy your ingredients yourself and make it at home, it's under $25.
Oh yeah, definitely. And you know what? I don't know if you've noticed it, but shrimp has gone down in price.
Yes, it really has. And for me, I love it because I'm a big like chicken. I can eat chicken, shrimp, fish. Those are like my meats of choice because I'm slowly borderline and vegetarian, but not all the way there.
Yeah. Well, you don't want to cut out your shrimp, most definitely. That's like my favorite thing too, as well,
Yes.
fish and salmon and everything.
I can eat it all day. And it's just great to eat and it's digestible for me. Because I used to be bigger, a lot bigger than what I am now. And I had a big weight loss due to being diabetic. So I cut out a lot of carbs and I went on a protein-based diet. So I lost a significant amount of weight. So I'm always like, so now I usually stick with like fish and shrimp and chicken breasts. That's usually the meats I use.
Yeah, oh my God, that sounds great. Well, what kind of a message would you leave everyone today, just in general? What kind of a message about life would you leave?
In life, you're going to get obstacles, you're going to get challenges, and at the end of the day, they can be hard. They can be situations where they can try to stop you. But if you just reach a little bit deeper inside of yourself and push yourself to persevere and to learn how to take on those new obstacles in life, it can be so much more life-changing, you know. So for all of my fellow blind and visually impaired and men, women, and children out there, whether you're new to being blind or you've been living for a long time, it is an adjustment, you know, but the important thing is it's not something that has to stop you. It is a characteristic. Yes, our vision is different, but we learn to see differently, not physically, innerly. And there's nothing too impossible that you cannot achieve. That's the message I love to spread.
Well, thank you so much, Goddess. I really appreciate you taking your Friday afternoon when I know you have a couple of things to do tonight, couple of speaking engagements. But I appreciate you taking your time from your busy life. Thank you so much. Thank you for helping us change the way we see blindness.
Absolutely. We all have to do our part, and it's my pleasure. And thank you for all you do. You've been doing this for a long time, and definitely someone that I definitely have followed in the background for a long time. So thank you for all you do. Thank you for all the resources and encouragement and all that your show and all the things that you do. I really appreciate it myself. So thank you.
Oh, thank you, Goddess. You have a great weekend, okay?
So, Miss Renee, thank you again.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.